We do. Welcome to the Low Sodium Podcast. My name's Kris. This is Rob. Say hi, Rob.
What's up, guys?
Today we have, a few topics on the docket. I guess first, we're talking about EA's terrible meme tweet where they said they're a 10, but they only like playing single player games. Rob, what's your take, man?
It's funny because I know that a lot of people got insulted with that comment. I don't understand the tweet itself. Like,
I'm glad we're on the same page because I'm like, I don't get it. I don't know why y'all are mad. I don't get it, man.
So what does that even mean? A 10 and like
it was like I looked, I read a couple of articles. Jack Frags put out a whole video. It was like a 5-minute video on this, and I watched like half
so many
of it because it's
videos about this. It's ridiculous.
And it was like it was like a joke that kind of started on Twitter. They're a 10, but like they picked their nose, or they're a 10, but they like this thing, and that kind of is a deal breaker, right? And so I got it like as a joke, but like people genuinely got upset at this. I'm like, but playing single player games isn't a part of who you are. It's just something that you enjoy. So this really doesn't seem like something you should be upset at. Like when people are like, this generation's too sensitive. I usually brush that off because like usually it's just people telling you to knock it off when they're tired of your BS, right? But this one seems like people are being a little too sensitive. Like,
oh my God, people are being too sensitive. At the same time, I think it also has to do with EA's PR campaign. Like EA has made mistakes before where they commented that single player games are no longer needed and they're not popular and they don't make money, right? So people. That's not what people want to hear, especially me, because I'm a single player guy. I do not play too many co-op games or multiplayer games. When they're mentioning those things, it does really aggravate me because I don't want to play a co-op game. I want to play a really good single player game.
Yeah.
AKA EA's own Jedi Fallen Order, which everybody makes a comment out of it. It's like, but look at Jedi Fallen Order.
Which was really good. Great game.
Exactly. And and they try to do multiplayer games, and those multiplayer games suck, and they lose a lot of money for that. So
except for Apex.
So it's one of those things that it's a hit or miss. It just depends on the quality of the game or whether or not it resonates with the audience, right? So those comments
it was a really bad joke. It was a bad joke. Like, the joke itself isn't funny. Like, and again, like, I'm with you. Majority of the time, I'm playing a single player game just because of time. And, like, I don't have to dedicate too much time to a single player game. I can put it down. I can come back later. So, for me, like, I enjoy both. But typically, I'm playing something by myself, enjoying that for what it is. Right? Yeah. So, it's kind of like, I saw the joke, but it's not a good one. But it drummed up a lot of attention. Is it just like a slow news week? I feel that's really what it is. Is that like there's barely anything going on right now?
No, well, okay. So there's not a lot going on, but I'll give you this. Switching topics a bit, like Ragnarok, God of War Ragnarok was just announced, and that should have hit waves, right? We didn't think we were going to get any other top tier single player or top tier games in general for 2022.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, freaking God of War Ragnarok just slaps. Boom!
Just came out of nowhere, right?
Motherfucker.
So looks great. Like looks cool. The environment and everything. The sense of danger and everything, and the growth of Atreus. My only nitpick, and I'm nitpicking, my only nitpick is Atreus doesn't look too different. He looks like they just enlarged his character model from the first game. His voice is different, but he looks. I was just hoping for some changes in Atreus, right? Just to see, him.
He looks like he's grown. Like, let's say for a kid that is was 10 or 9, he looks like he's in his teenage years now. Like he's like 13 or 14.
But like even that, like his facial proportions didn't change that much. His hair.
Okay, I think you're. I mean, it makes sense.
I'm nitpicking.
It's not nitpicking. Like they're not changing a character. It's not like a movie.
I'm nitpicking.
Well, I'm nitpicking. So I will tell you this for God of War. The thing that I didn't notice, it's not something that I'm really upset about, but it just looks. I mean, it looks like a sequel, right? Like I'm looking like a DLC type, but sequel type game, and I'm still excited for it because the story itself is really good. But the truth is, we're gonna get a lot more of the same from the original.
Gameplay wise, I'm not looking for anything to change major with the gameplay or anything like that, but I am looking forward to the story to continue. You know, with that end scene of like Thor showing up, and we have the character arc for Thor, and it's like, you know, he looks like an old school powerhouse. He looks like a power lifter and everything like that. So, you know, I'm excited to see where this goes. I don't need too many innovative changes. I don't want them to like alienate people that love the first game by changing things too much, which I don't think they're going to do. They have too much experience to make that mistake.
This is really good for Sony.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think so.
Like they are not competing with anybody for this Christmas. everything that Xbox has is going to come out in 2023, and it's unfortunate. Maybe Xbox is going to be the king in 2023, but 2022, even though Xbox has won on the gaming console, is winning in the gaming console in terms of people actually being happy with their system, is going to be Sony.
Yeah. I don't know. Like the console, it's not really even a war anymore. You know what I mean? Like, because so many things, like everything's so fluid now. Mm-hmm. Only the exclusives are to certain consoles, and only really Sony and Nintendo have exclusives now. And I know for me personally, Nintendo is not a factor in that. So when I'm looking at what I'm going to be playing, and even what I'm going to be playing and everything, I still haven't gotten a PS5. I'm waiting to get one of those.
I'm actually I am putting out a review for Xbox on the Tales of Arise soon, or maybe it will already be published by the time this video comes out. But I do also have the PS5. I'm playing Deathloop 2. I am very happy with my PS5. I do realize that having two systems is not necessary. And that's my unfortunate truth. I got both the PS5 and the Xbox Series X like 3 or 4 months between each other, and I thought that I would be getting different experiences. Like, if this game comes out, then I'm going to enjoy it on this system, and this game comes out, I'm going to enjoy it on that system. I realized that even Digital Foundry is finding that the comparisons are not that.
So,
you know, like they're basically the same game.
Last generation, right? They were somebody in the PC community was able to change the conversation to performance, resolution, frames per second. Yeah. And that really affected how they went forward with the technology now, right? In those machines. They're both outputting, they're neck and neck, you know, like what they're capable in doing. With Xbox Game Pass, those of us that play on PC, we don't necessarily need an Xbox, and Xbox is okay with that. Microsoft is okay with the fact that you don't have to buy an Xbox as long as you're playing Xbox games, as long as you're in the Game Pass environment. They don't care. And Sony, while they still want you to buy a console, their business plan still involves people buying consoles, buying exclusives and things like that. It kind of puts you in a situation where, well, hey, I can, for me personally, I don't have to buy the Xbox. I can buy a PS5 and I'll still be able to experience everything that's coming out. So, and even they're changing up their strategy too, and they're releasing older games. PlayStation's releasing older games on PC. So I'm still able to get, you know, that experience. I'm still able to touch like Days Gone and Horizon Zero Dawn and stuff like that on a different platform. So yeah, it's not coming out day one, but I'm still able to do that. If I can be patient, I can play, the titles that are coming out now in a year or two. So it's a completely different environment. Is really weird to say like, hey, freaking anything from Sony is on PC.
No, if I were to do it again, I love Halo, but unfortunately that's the only game currently on the Xbox that I truly love and I would like play again. But anything else has come for the PlayStation. Like I liked Uncharted a lot. I like The Last of Us. I like God of War. All these.
You're more satisfied. You're more satisfied with the PlayStation. Let's be real. Like they've put more work into releasing games on a regular basis for the PlayStation for all of the PS4.
I'm really hoping that 2023 makes my Xbox worth it. And the Starfield game is gonna, and you gotta understand, like I'm not a PC owner, so like I'm only an Xbox.
No,
so, like,
I'm with you.
It.
I'm completely with you. So I bought an Xbox One, and like I stopped using it before that first year was up. I was already done using it.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was no reason for me. Because, like, I had you guys to play with. I had other friends that played on Xbox, but there wasn't anything to play.
I think we played Titanfall once.
Yeah, we played Titanfall. We might have played Call of COD. Yeah, but, there wasn't...
You remember Dwayne Harbor? We played with Harbor, too, and Arturo, too.
Yeah. And it was just like, okay, cool. But, like, once that stuff has run its course... There's nothing else really here for me. Mm-hmm. So that's when I got more into PC gaming and everything like that. Because like for me at the time, there were just more things coming out that I was interested in. So like when I'm looking at it now, I'm like, I don't want to say run the risk, but I don't want to put money into buying an Xbox system. And I know I'm not going to use it.
So like, by the way, I put I reserved a Steam Deck, that the highest one, like the 512 gigabyte.
You didn't have to do that, but yeah.
Well, at 100, I did it. I could probably possibly change it to a lower.
I wouldn't like if you want it because of like how the reserve system and stuff works. I wouldn't change it. You know what I mean? I mean, you could if you wanted to save the money, but the hard drive space without having to buy anything additional. Again, if you're going just straight for the console experience, just stick with what you have.
So my question to you is like, why hesitate? Why the words are like, I didn't have to do that?
Because you can expand the storage. So I got the middle one. It's 250. I think it's 256 gigs, but you can run a bunch of games and stuff off a micro SD card. So I know when I can get time next week, I'm going to a Best Buy and I'm going to try and find a 1 terabyte SD card and just stick it in there. And like, the games won't load.
How much are those 1 terabyte SD cards?
I don't know. I'm gonna price it. But they go up to a terabyte. So I don't necessarily even have to get a terabyte. I can get 512, 256 or something like that. And that expands the storage and the games run
is the 512, is it SSD? Is it solid state? No.
It's, I'm like the little cards that you stick into cameras.
No, I know that micro SD. Yeah. But what about
inside the Steam Deck? Yeah. They're NVMe. They're solid state NVMe.
Okay, so I'm making a good purchase then.
Right. Yeah, you're making a good purchase.
All right. And I saw the difference. It's only like $100 or so. That like $120, $130 difference.
It's not bad. Not bad.
Moving to the topic, like I'm shifting to the Steam Deck is because like when you're traveling a lot, and I foresee myself traveling a lot in the next couple of months, I don't want to be carrying an Xbox. And I do appreciate, like I went to Florida the other day and I was playing my Switch and I wasn't really satisfied with the graphics of the Switch. And I was like, I know that I can do better. Although to the Switch's positive, it is smaller than the Steam Deck itself.
Yeah, it is.
So I got a Switch OLED, which is I reserved it. It's coming soon to the PX. So like PX is tax free, so I'm gonna grab that and play with it. But apparently, like according to reviews, that the Switch OLED it does do a major difference when it comes to the screen itself. Brighter colors, the fact that it's expanded to 7 inches, and like before, I believe it was a 6-inch screen. Now it's 7 inches. They're saying that it is a major difference, and you're going to appreciate it if you play Switch games.
My only issue is that they gave it more to push, a higher resolution, larger screen, better colors, stuff like that. And they didn't change any of the hardware. Yeah. So my concern, and it'll be something I ask you later on, like, how is that performance? Because like it's asking more from hardware that's already underperforming in certain situations. So that's really like, that would really be my concern with it.
No, so I get you. I don't think there's going to be a major difference. I was playing Dying Light on the Switch, and Dying Light in itself is a dark game. It's the title says it, right? It's a dark game. But I was having issues trying to see, so I was looking at like things that were going on with my screen. It's part of the reason is that it's an old screen. It's a 2017 screen where it isn't as brightly lit as the new OLED.
They were thinking about battery life.
Yes, and this time around they have a better battery, and I mean, like, good reviews overall from Digital Foundry, from people that review usually Nintendo beat 'em ups. I'm not sure if you ever seen beat 'em ups, guy.
No, I haven't.
Beat 'em ups. Yeah, he's hilarious. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. But I'm also pretty excited for the Steam Deck. I think playing one thing I will tell you, one thing that people get excited for the Steam Deck if you don't have a console, but most of the things that they're talking about, I played Red Dead Redemption on the Steam Deck. I played Grand Theft Auto on the Steam Deck. I played Elden Ring on the Steam Deck. Like, cool. I already did. I already played it. Like, what? Like, I want to play something else.
The novelty, because I have a 1X player.
Like, is there any super awesome game that hasn't come out on the console that has come out on the PC apart from a Star Citizen or like MMOs?
What do you mean, like a PC exclusive type game that you can't play on console? Yeah. I mean, like, I'm sure there are games like, Rust is on console now, PUBG is on console, but they're not great experiences on console. I don't know how they run on the Steam Deck. So what I would say, what the draw for a console player to me for the Steam Deck would be, I can play these games on the go. I can play these games outside. Like, I took mine with me. I didn't have a whole lot of time to play it this weekend, but I did bring it. And like, I was waiting for formation and stuff like that. And I was playing Dead Cells. Like, I was in my car just playing Dead Cells right there and there. Now that game can run on the Switch. It can run on anything. But, if I wanted to play Metro, or if I wanted to play whatever else I had installed, like I have Metro, Monster Hunter World, and Dead Cells installed on it right now. And I can play any of those while sitting there.
You're talking about Metro? You're playing Metro Exodus right now?
Yeah, I'm playing Metro Exodus on it.
Like I have that for the PS5. I want to continue playing it. Part of the reason why I got it for the PS5 is the DualSense controller, or like the Sense controller, where you press the trigger and you actually feel it, like that experience. That's part of the reason why I got it. Also for like, I got Grand Theft Auto 5, the new edition for the PS5, because
they made the changes to it.
Yeah, they made the changes to it, the controller, and you actually feel like when you're pressing on the gas or when you're shooting, like, it's a game changer. It really is. Yeah. Like, so like Cyberpunk 2077 is a prime example of like where the PS5 version is actually better because it has that experience in the controller, whereas the Xbox does not. Completely different dynamic. You're not as integrated or immersed in the game as you are when you're using that controller. So anyway, like, I'm not sure if purchasing the Steam Deck is still like the best idea. I mean, like, as a gamer that has played many games.
Yeah. I mean, again, like, for you, look at it like a more powerful Switch. And that's really, for you, that's really what it is, right? For me, again, I'm using it the same way you plan on using it. I travel for work, so I take it with me. That's what I was doing with the One X player. I take it to work, play games when I can. I laid in bed last night before I had to go to a social. I had my feet propped up on the desk.
Look at you going to a social.
I didn't. Hey man, I left as soon as the electric slide hit. I left. I was out of there, man. As soon as the old folks started doing the electric slide, all right, it's time for me to go. And I know, like, I'm old, right? I'm old, but like these
You're
people
not
have been
that old, Kris.
Yo, these people have been in the Army as long as we've been alive.
Oh, so this is for the reserve stuff?
Yeah, the reserve. Like,
okay.
Two individuals that I've personally signed retirement paperwork for have been in the Army for 38 and 37 years. I am 38 years old. Holy shit.
Oh man.
Wow. But yeah. Anyway, so like, before the social, I got my feet propped up. I'm playing Dead Cells. I'm enjoying myself. The battery life on certain games, it lasts pretty long.
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah. So, you're not going to get PC level performance out of it. You're going to get it's as powerful as
you don't notice
like
that
PS4.
It's as powerful as a PS4, but you won't notice it as much because the screen is small, right?
The screen is smaller, and I'm just thoroughly impressed that Metro Exodus is running on this thing, and I can play it. And the positions of the controls feel good to me. Though usually on a handheld, the analog stick is placed directly above or below like your buttons, and I have a problem hitting those with my thumb. They're placed horizontally from each other on the Steam Deck, and it feels more comfortable. It's a well-built, well-thought-out machine.
I think I was reading a review comparison between the Switch OLED and the Steam Deck, and the reviewer said that you don't have to compare the OLED and the Steam Deck. They can live in harmony with each other. And I was seeing his point of view. He said that the Steam Deck is, more or less like a system that it's more portable, and you can take it with you for like business trips and stuff. But like the Switch is the real portable device. It's actually like you can do it for vacation.
So like the case, I wish I would have brought it in here. The case is massive. Right, like my One X player is heavier than the Steam Deck, but the Steam Deck's case, like it feels like that thing is going to like you probably can drop it from about 5-6 feet and it wouldn't damage it. Yeah. Right. But it's massive. Like, how am I going to fit that in my bag? You know, like, so I got to like rearrange how I'm doing things. I'm going to take like the laptops and stuff I have to travel with, put them in my main bag. I got to buy a lock and everything. So, anything like that. But I have to rearrange my luggage to kind of accommodate this thing because it's so freaking big. Like the case is big. It is longer than the One X player, but it's lighter. It feels better in my hand. It's more ergonomic. Like it's a good piece of hardware. In my opinion, it's a really good piece of hardware. So I don't think you're wasting your money buying one, especially if you're going to be traveling. Or like, say like you're in the living room, your wife is watching TV, and you don't want to, like you just want to play something. You can do that. Like you can share the space. You won't be actively engaged with them, but you can share that space. So it frees up you to play games. Yeah.
I'm also excited because the Steam Deck is friendly to Xbox Game Pass. So like eventually it's not to that point yet, but my understanding is that they're trying to make it accessible for the Xbox Game Pass as well.
I hope so. I hope they work something out.
And it seems like Phil Spencer is good with it. Sure, why not?
He wants everything. I want it on toasters. I want it on refrigerators. I want Game Pass on the moon, goddamn. So I'm all for it. I am going to have to install Windows on it. I'm going to have to figure out how to do that because I still want to play Destiny 2 on it. Right. And Destiny isn't running on Linux, so Yeah.
So my understanding is that Destiny 2 said that they don't want, as of right now,
they don't want it to run on Linux because they feel that it will open it up. It will loosen security for hackers to take advantage. I feel like that's a lazy answer. Because there are a ton of other multiplayer games that are using, the anti-cheat and everything. But maybe they have their own specific thing that's built for Windows, and they really can't just change that. They can't up and change that. Mm-hmm. So it's disappointing. I wish I didn't have to do it because I personally don't like going in and making a ton of changes to devices and stuff like that. I know there's a ton of people that do. But I'm going to do it because I want to play this game. So, and then if I do it, it will open up Game Pass to me right now. It will open up my Epic library. So I will have all those games to play as well. So it will let me play more. It'll let me play more, increase my library size, but it's compromising the experience you get with the Steam OS.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So, with that, I want to talk a little bit of changing of subject. This is MCU stuff now, because we said that we were going to talk about this. So, I've been noticing lately in the MCU, and we've been talking about it sporadically, but the MCU right now seems like it does not have a goal in front of them that makes all the shows and movie cohesive with each other to a point where like they meet at a certain point and continue forward, like phase 1, 2, and 3 of the MCU. And phase 4 seems like it's like they're telling different stories about the multiverse, but none of them are connected. So I originally thought that Loki was going to be that point where they're like, okay, from this point forward, like Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Thor, Love and Thunder, or we're all gonna be affected by what happened in Loki, but it doesn't seem like that. Like we saw that there was a multiverse situation in Spider-Man, but it really didn't explain. Like it really wasn't like a connection with Loki. It was more like Doctor Strange messing with, like,
it was like the way that spell worked with people that knew Spider-Man. So that's why every villain and every person that came in or was coming through was somehow related to Peter Parker, right? So my take on this is like, if you think about phase 1, right, and that first Iron Man movie, they were trying to, like, they were hoping that this would go on to something else, right? But the Iron Man movie stands alone. So it's a good piece of media that stands alone. So again, a lot of these stories, stories that they're telling.
You continue with Iron Man, but again, there's always a connection to a bigger thing. Where's the connection?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at, right? So instead of doing this connection and having that right now, and like I don't know where it's going, and so the way that I'm approaching it, the way that I'm viewing it is like there are runs in comics. Like when you talk about a comic book and how the comic books are usually structured, yes, there are crossovers, and crossovers happen all the time, but individual stories get told too. And so that's how I'm viewing this. Like I'm watching Miss Marvel, and in Miss Marvel, she references tons of other heroes, like the Battle of New York, all that stuff happened, but everything that's happening with her is all contained with
every movie that has come out is always about themselves.
Yeah,
but in between that, there's a push. There is a push for a larger story. In every single movie, there's a push.
Shang-Chi in credits, they bring them in, and you have them talk to Shang-Chi about some kind of incident. Bruce Banner's there, a couple other people are there, right? Now I get it. Again, I'm not saying like I personally don't think every movie has to be connected and everything. I'm viewing this as individual comic runs, right? Where there's going to be an initial event that brings everything together, whether that's Secret Wars or something else that brings all this together. But it really like the way they need to be viewed as like these things are happening simultaneously, but they're not happening together. They're not meshed together. But like the events of Loki, like we all know, like Loki is the reason why Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness can happen. That why the last Spider-Man movie can happen. You know, like the events in Loki are a catalyst for everything else that's going on. Now they did say, like Kevin Feige did come out and say, like the TV shows don't have to be required viewing to understand everything that's going on in a movie. And they're putting out so much. They're putting out so much that you can't really expect people that aren't really into this to watch all that. Because the second you start connecting all that and you make this required viewing. You start moving from. Chris,
I get it, but you're also making the fans that really make the money. It's like not care anymore. That's the truth. Like you like, have to.
Like, okay, so, I mean, like, that's like saying somebody that loved Iron Man and only loved Iron Man.
Part of the reason why Captain Marvel was watched was because it came on the heels of the Infinity War. And everybody wanted to know what was going on.
It's all like a marketing thing, right?
It's all a connection. There is a certain connection, even if that connection is that small. In my opinion,
I don't think
it's
like
not
right
to make
now,
money.
It's like a phase 4. It is. It's still money. It's still money.
People are getting exhausted.
Don't tell me Thor isn't going to make money. Tell me Spider-Man didn't make money. Tell me Shang-Chi didn't make money.
Spider-Man made money because it made a huge connection.
And even if you go back,
Spider-Man made money because it made a huge connection between the other two spiders.
It made money because it's fucking Spider. It made money because it's Spider-Man. Spider-Man is always going to make bank.
People wanted.
Let's go back. Hold on. Let's rewind. Rewind. Let's go back to Black Panther. How well connected was that when they told the Black Panther that story in Black Panther? How well connected was that to the rest of the MCU?
No, you're right. That was a different one.
Won 3 Oscars. So like a standalone story, won 3 Oscars, made a ton of freaking money. Not and like it's happening. It's happening.
Yeah, you're right. That is a different one. That is.
And so again, this is like you're taking and expanding, right? Because again, we lost staple. We lost staple characters.
Black Panther is an exception, not the rule. It's like
and what I'm trying to say is that they're building their roster, and so like. You kind of lose importance of a character, or a character can be overshadowed if they're connected in, like if Thor is a major player in Shang-Chi, you lose the importance of Shang-Chi himself.
I am not saying that they have to come out in different movies. I'm just saying that their stories, their individual stories, have to meet up somewhere. Right? It's like a pyramid, right? Mm-hmm. You're continuing growing. You see that there are connections. It doesn't have to be visible. Even Black Panther had its own connections to the larger MCU. And angle.
When you like, so what I'm figuring what the issue is that they're feeling like there isn't a big bad. Right. There isn't a big bad. There isn't this overarching threat. There's multiple threats coming from every freaking where right now. Right. Like you got Kang in the Loki series. You have the interdimensional beings coming out of Shang-Chi. You have whatever the hell is going on in Thor. I haven't seen it yet. I promise I'm going to see it this week.
That's one that I'm excited for.
You have
just because Thor's
the many angled ones that got like kind of teased in Doctor Strange. So like there's threats coming from any and everywhere right now. Mm-hmm. So again, to me, this is like that extended period where they're introducing characters. And for me personally, like, you know, when I'm thinking about this, is even when you look back at like the Netflix shows, those guys that those first seasons that they had were really telling their stories. Like, they're telling these stories. And I get it. Some people they want a reason to watch. They want to know where this is all going. And I think that might be the issue, is that they're putting out way too much. They're putting out so much content. And like, it's like, well, what's the point? Like, who's going to show up? Like, I get that. I'm personally just enjoying the ride. You get what I'm saying? I'm just here. I'm here to see stories about, you know, Sam and Bucky. I'm here to see stories about, you know, Miss Marvel and Loki and, you know, all this different stuff. I'm here to see the big budget stuff. I'm here to see the low budget stuff. They're giving directors more creative control. And
you're basically saying, who gives a shit, right? Who gives a shit whether or not there's a big bad or a big
me personally, like, is the movie
it's
good?
Like,
am I enjoying this?
It's like Star Wars. Like, Star Wars should have individual stories instead of being connected to a larger one.
Yeah, I like... Yeah. There can be an overarching threat. There can be things, can be a trilogy, you know, things like that. But like, to constantly go back and dig in the same well, you know, like, okay, Star Wars, they're always about Skywalkers, right? That's kind of like, well, that, I guess, okay, let's bring Luke back, right? But like, for this, the Marvel in general has tons of characters. They have characters that have never met. They have characters that work together all the time. A lot of people are wondering, like, how the hell are they going to bring the X-Men in? Like, how is that going to work? Right? Are they going to do an individual movie first? Are they just going to be down in the middle of
do you think it's more like you're watching something and it's more like you're looking forward to something bigger, something else? Like, there's like, when I saw Doctor Strange and the Multiverse, I finished seeing it, but I was done with it. Like, it closed, like, the story's over, I'm done. Like, and just think about something else. Whereas when you're watching movies like in the phase 1 through 3, with the exception of the first Iron Man, you watch something, you're like, ooh, I wonder what's going to happen next then. Like they
drop those breadcrumbs, and I think like that really worked. That really worked to establish the MCU. That really worked to keep people interested and invested. I do think at some point, like, again, like, not everyone enjoys this content as much as I do, right? Like, I get that, and they want to be invested in what's going on. So for me, it's more like, at some point, y'all need to go ahead and decide what's going to happen.
Marvel for you is my Star Wars. That's how I see it.
Yeah, like, pretty much.
Like, it's basically, you can't do too much wrong as long as you are continuing.
I'm not going to say they can't do wrong, because, like, you know, if I don't like a movie, I obviously don't like it. I hate Thor 2. Like, Thor Dark, like, that movie is bad. In damn near every way, that movie is just bad. And they found a way, and again, they found a way to redeem that, like, not redeem, but make it better by knowing, like, the fact where, like, Thor went back and talked to his mother before she died, and like that's canon, that happened. You know, like it makes it more interesting, you know, and gives more meaning to things that are happening in the story. But again, I hate that movie. So, like, it's not like I'm completely like, oh, Marvel can't do any wrong. Like, Miss Marvel is getting boring for me. I'm watching it because I honestly don't have anything else to watch right now. So
I'll be honest, I haven't seen Stranger Things season 4 yet. I
haven't finished it. I'm on the last episode.
I need to watch it with friends. That's something that's mine and her show. So.
Just remember, if you watch it without her, that is considered cheating. Okay.
So, like, I also need to see The Boys, but that's one thing that she does not want to see. Like, she saw season 1 through 2. But she does, like, it's so, for her, like, see, The Boys is so violent and so disgusting. This
season, it pushes some boundaries. I was like, ooh, it took me like 3 days to get through the first episode.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was, it's rough. The first episode is rough, man.
Yeah. Did you finish it?
Yeah, I finished it. It's good.
What do you think? What do you think about The Boys?
The Boys
I haven't seen
The Boys is an example. The Boys is an example of the live action interpretation being better than the source material. The Boys comic book is not this nuanced and this good.
Yeah.
Like, it's just what they did with Soldier Boy, what they're doing with Homelander. Homelander is an awful person. Or just awful person, right? He's horrible. They give him a humanizing moment where he does something that, like, you can't argue with. Like, he did something that was good, and I'm like, well, fuck. Like, wow, that was an amazing. I don't want to spoil anything for you, right?
Don't.
But there was seriously a moment where I'm like, oh my God, like, Homelander has said something that I can connect with, that he said something and did something that I would do. And I was just like, whoa, like, this guy is he's a sociopath, or he's narcissistic. He's humanized. Yeah. In this one little moment, they humanized him, and it was like, holy shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's good. It's really good. There's definitely some down moments. One of the characters that you thought was going to be like a big deal isn't a big deal. Like, there are some moments that, like, disappointed me, but those are few far in between. It is a good this season. Is it
really Huey good. That's the big deal?
No, I'm not gonna spoil anything for you, man. I'm sorry. I can't do that to you.
Okay.
I can't do that, man.
All right, that sucks. I like his, like, my favorite character is Huey, because he's the most relatable one. But I'm afraid that. So I've been reading that the Boys series, the show, is deviating a lot from the comics.
Oh yeah, it's been done that. Like, yeah,
no, but like really, like there's, like, it's not even any more falling in the general story.
No, just the name. The name. Character names. Like, there's stuff going on and there is some stuff that is still relatable from the comics. There's still things that are happening that happen in the comics, but how they get there and the paths they take afterwards are different too. And, like, there are people that died in the comics that don't die in the show, and vice versa. So there are. Yeah, you really can't really tell where this is going. And that right there is what's making me enjoy it. Like, you see it, you think it's going to go one way, and it definitely takes a hard left and punches somebody's head off. It's wow. It's good.
I think The Boys is a good sounding board for people that are currently getting tired of the MCU.
Yeah,
like, I mean, The Boys is a different perspective.
People that are tired of superhero stories and stuff like that. I mean, honestly, there's a ton of stuff out there right now. Like, if you're tired of superhero stories, like, The Gray Man is about to come out, which looks amazing. Again, Stranger Things. Yeah, there's a superpowered person in it, but it's not a superhero story. But yeah, man, The Boys is good. I am excited for Invincible too.
I saw Invincible. That's like
waiting for that to come back out, because that story is a lot deeper than a lot of, like, I originally thought. I was like, what is this? But, like, the story is a lot deeper than I thought it was, and there's a lot that goes on, and I'm just kind of interested to see where they take it. So.
Yeah. The main protagonist and the relationship he has with his father is very unique. That last fight was really epic.
It was really brutal.
Yeah, it was really epic and brutal.
Yeah, I think the name, like, a lot of people, like, you call yourself invincible, but you're just vincible because you're constantly getting your ass kicked, right? And it's like, I think, he thought one thing about superheroes, and he's constantly learning the fact that, like, it's not what you thought that was, and people aren't who you think they are. And this is a lot more dangerous
I do realize that's Amazon Prime, right?
Yeah, that's on Amazon.
The Boys and apparently like Jeff Bezos, man, he's like F superheroes. Like I'm gonna show their true colors. Like I think he made a comment once that said that it's like the Lex Luthor is the actual hero. Like if you're giving
he would
too
say
much,
that he looks like fucking Lex Luthor.
Lex Luthor, yeah, exactly.
He would say Lex Luthor is not the hero, but
no, he's not.
Yeah. What would you expect from a man that doesn't like music?
Anyway. Yeah.
But yeah, man. But that's all I really have, man. Again, we touched on the EA tweet thing, which I think is no big deal. You didn't make a bad decision buying a Steam Deck. I'm questioning your decision to buy a Switch OLED. You gotta let me know if that's actually worth it.
I'm actually really excited for that Switch OLED. I'm really excited to play Metroid Dread.
Oh yeah. I heard nothing but good things about that game.
Switch OLED, yeah. So like I will, when I get the Steam Deck, I'll make the comparisons too. I'll make a review about that.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that'll be nice. Like Tales of Arise first. I think the next game that I'm going to review is Halo Infinite.
Okay.
Because I already played it and I want to say some good things about it.
Okay.
Like only a little bit of salt,
But yeah, that is it for us today. Make sure to check back to see that review from Rob on Tales of Arise and look forward to that Halo Infinite review. Me personally, I'm going to make a video about the Steam Deck. I just don't know exactly where I'm going to go with that yet. I'm trying to beat a game on it first before I actually try and talk about it.
Hey, so they said, sorry for completely changing it, not changing it, but why didn't you play Tales of Arise on the Steam Deck? Because Tales of Arise, the people that were playing the Steam Deck, they're like, oh my god, Tales of Arise on the Steam Deck is freaking amazing. Okay. They're like, it is perfect for the Switch. Not the Switch, but the Steam Deck.
I feel like, and I don't want to go into another 20-minute tirade about this, right? I feel like there's a lot that's perfect for the Steam Deck. Again, it doesn't feel like an Xbox controller in my hand, but it's really freaking close. And all
right, I'm getting a little bit excited.
It's really close, man. It feels that holding that thing feels really really good. And it's all the surprising part about it is it's all plastic. Like none of it's metal, but it feels like a well built device, and that right there is just top notch for me. Like that's what sells me on it. It's comfortable for me to hold.
All right.
But like I said, catch us next time. We'll try and be back next week. That's been it for Low Sodium Gaming. I've been Kris, and this has been Rob. We'll catch you next time. Later.
Good stuff.